See, you used to do that all the time.
You're talking to me,
I
are
was
you?
waiting for the thing.
All right, call to order. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I know, right?
All right, I want to welcome everybody to our August board meeting. Clerk, roll call.
Trustee Prosser. Here. Ball. Sewell. Yes. Crowell. Yes. Supervisor Cox.
Here. And we'll start with our public comments. Just if you could step to the podium, state your name, and if you can keep your comments at 5 minutes or less.
My name is Keely Morgan, and I've lived here since 1980. I would like to read some social media comments made by Mr. Cox recently. The first two comments, he was
Can you
responding.
speak up? Can you speak up, honey?
Is this not on?
It's on.
Get closer.
Can't hear.
All right. My name is Keely Morgan, and I've lived here since 1980. I would like to read some social media comments made by Mr. Cox recently. For the first two comments, he was responding to someone who goes by the nickname Chaos. Mr. Cox seems to believe that Chaos is an employee at the assessor's office. That's just an assumption. So, Chaos, this is Mr. Cox speaking. Chaos, you really are desperate now. This is you. This is what you are picking on me with. Now I spend too much time at the senior center. Ha ha. Yes, I hire a director, just like I hire a manager for the township office duties, just like I have a manager for general assistance. I was elected to be the boss over all these apartments, so I am at all of them every day. I sign your checks, by the way. When your elected boss, who is only responsible for assessing, has chosen never, in all caps, to come to work at all, for over 47 years, all caps, while collecting a big check with full benefits. Yes, 47 years, all caps, and never working. People may ask, why is this bitter, awful performing employee so against you as a supervisor? The township supervisor and the board is also over the assessor's budget. Let me explain. Her boss does nothing and has never been there. So those employees do whatever they want as long as they attack his political opponents, like a mob going on for 47 years. They have no time clocks, usually only half of his staff show up on a weekly basis, etc. One public employee paid by the taxpayers hasn't come to the office in years. Again, the job is not assessing properties, it's just to go after his political opposition. He uses them. He perceives me as his political opponent because I brought to light his complete disregard to taxpayers. The assessor's office wanted to spend $530,000 this year to assess 16,700 parcels by 2029. Meanwhile, Edwardsville last year spent $184,000 to assess 16,500 parcels, and in all caps, and was way more accurate, exclamation. All of these numbers are public. This mess has cost regular taxpayers hundreds, if not thousands, in higher property taxes each year. If you think your property taxes have gotten out of control, the blame starts, all caps, in the Collinsville assessor's office. Another comment he made to Chaos says, hey Chaos, you should just focus on your job of assessing property. Our multiplier was over 8% and worse than Edwardsville, who spends $250,000 less to taxpayers. So the public is aware, the pathetic job of assessing led to your higher property taxes. Because of the multiplier, everyone is taxed on an 8% increased value. Even if your home is not assessed, it's just automatic 8% increase for all of Collinsville and Maryville, exclamation. Property taxes are out of control. You should also know that no elected officials have set hours. Your boss hasn't come to work for decades, exclamation. He proudly admits it and should make every hardworking taxpayer upset, exclamation. All while making $60K with full benefits and having a separate side hustle. Sorry, I come to my office daily. The last one is his response to me at previous meeting. I asked about why Mr. Cox's salary should be twice that of Edwardsville's if we're comparing Edwardsville and Collinsville. Didn't quite get a complete answer to that. I came in on this and I said, just how many hours a week do you spend on site in the office at the actual township building? Also, what justifies your salary being more than double that of Edwardsville's township supervisor? You never did respond to that question. Mr. Cox then responded to me, Keely Morgan, you are clueless. To make it easy for you to understand, I spend literally 100% more time at the office than the elected assessor who makes more than I do. Got that? Exclamation, exclamation. The senior center is a huge aspect of the township that I am over. It serves thousands of seniors, many of whom would otherwise be sitting at home alone. Yes, I am down there daily as well, talking to constituents. Edwardsville Township does not have a single parcel outside city limits like Collinsville. Big difference. They also do not even have a senior center. They do have an assessor's office and an elected assessor who does nearly the exact same number of parcels, all for $250,000 cheaper and more accurate. You really should get informed instead of just listening to chaos and the other few who only use you because you don't understand. I responded to Mr. Cox, and I'll ask him this here again tonight because I didn't get an answer.
You're over 5, but congrats.
All right, let's try again. How many hours do you spend per week on site at the township building? So,
My name's Katerina Engel, and I'm a Collinsville resident, and Facebook is such a lovely place. We deserve leaders who work for all of us, not leaders who insult us. Yet Derek Keith Cox, our township supervisor, went on Facebook and called his constituents cancer to the community. This is not just rude, it's disgraceful, unprofessional, and an insult to every resident. Language like this is beneath the dignity of public office. When you hold public office, your words matter, your tone matters, and when you attack the people you represent, you're telling us loud and clear, you do not see us as citizens, you see us as enemies. That's not leadership, that's arrogance. You work for us, Mr. Cox. Even if you don't like what you hear online, you still work for us. We do not work for you. And let's talk about the township building landscape. Sure, it's not your job to pick up a pair of hedge clippers, but you walked past that overgrown landscaping how many times? Did you even contact the landscapers before the public called it out? Or did you finally take action only when you were quote unquote bullied into doing something? Leadership is about paying attention, about stepping in when something needs fixing, even if it's outside of your so-called responsibilities. We deserve a township supervisor who doesn't need to be shamed into action. We deserve a supervisor who doesn't attack their neighbors online. We deserve a supervisor who treats residents with respect, listens, and works for the community, not against it. Dismissing obvious needs until public pressure forces action erodes trust. A township supervisor's role is to lead by example, solve problems proactively, not reactively, and represent all residents, even those they personally don't agree with. Our community deserves respect, not ridicule, solutions, not excuses. This community is strong, and no one in public office will tear it apart with insults and neglect. Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, we will move forward then.
I'll speak real
Oh.
quick. Do I still have time?
I usually don't allow that, but I
That's
will.
fine.
But moving forward, when I say it, that's it. All right, I don't want to just enfranchise anybody, so go ahead.
I am Jeffrey Menendez. I live in Maryville. I've been coming to the meetings for the last few years. I know there's been a lot of stuff circling on social media. You can feed into the drama, or you can feed into the facts that people do answer on social media. There's more than just emotions. There's more than just ridicule or other things that people talk about coming from other leaders too. But there are facts out there. Whenever there's a question asked, you can find the information. There's always more information to be looked into, rather than just coming to a meeting and spouting out what you're not okay with. It also takes for you to do some research on your own. So I was going through some of the pages that have been popping up recently on Facebook. One of them is the alternative Collinsville Township page. I'm not really sure who's the one managing or running this page, but they do post quite a bit about the township. I was looking into some of the information they had posted for this meeting, and I was going to everybody's reports. So like the supervisor's report, trustees do a report, towns and roads and bridges do a report, as well as the assessors. So going through each report, you can see what each person was working on throughout the month. When you get to the assessor's report, it does state a lot of their duties that they do, but there's nothing that's really explained in detail. But I did read it. I brought it here as well. I know some of you don't get to see this unless you're looking at the information online, but just examples of some of the things. It says June 2025 Collinsville Township Assessors Report. The following activities were accomplished / addressed during this month of June in the assessor's office. Typing transfers deeds, no explanation. Worked on permits, typing all permits. Turned in 0 pictures to the chief county assessor's office. Like, some of these just don't make any sense to the public, somebody that's not in the office. So I wanted to ask the board if you guys could do any research, try to work with the assessor's office, see if they can be more explanatory on some of the stuff they're talking about. Also, going through their report, I noticed that they wrote verbatim, waited on senior freezes, mobile homes, disabled persons, and disabled veterans. We help them fill out their forms, make sure everything's correct. So there's no other information given. But coming to the meetings, I think we all remember a time when, about stamps, when there were like certain documents that were needed to be turned in, needed to be mailed out because they had a specific deadline. And I remember there being a big fuss about these things being turned in at that time. They were stated to be the exact same tax, what does it say? They're the exact same tax things they were talking about mailing out then, that needed to be due then, that they're saying they're still working on them. So if we're gonna talk about transparency, accountability, honesty, and truth, and this is information that the assessor's office is providing the public for this month, why was it then that there was people that were gonna be hurt or affected by these freezes or these information forms not going out? They're still working on completing them today. It was a huge fuss. There was a lot of lies that were said. There was a lot of accusations made about alternative motives. And I'm just really confused on how they're still working on these things if they were due, was it January? I also have heard that they have hired some new employees in the assessor's office. I don't know if you guys can look into that for the public, but I don't see anywhere on this report that says like training, classes, anything like that about new employees. So if we have new employees, are they being trained? What are their job duties supposed to be in the assessor's office? If there's, like, is the assessor gonna be here to speak on any of this? Just a lot of things that I'm curious about the assessor's office and the report that they provided for this meeting. Hopefully you guys can help me get some answers on that stuff. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay. Even though it is not on the agenda, we agreed in our bylaws that we could answer the public. Yeah, that's fine. So, and I saw a few yeses. A lot of it was directed at me, so if you want me to go first, if that's all right with the board. Now I gotta be able to read my writing. How many, I guess one of the questions was, how many hours do I spend at the township? Again, just so everybody is clear on this, all right? I don't ask Kathy. Have I ever asked you, Kathy, when you're working and when you're not? Never have, never have. I don't know when the mayor's in, when their county chairman's in, when the treasurer's in. I don't know when a senator's in their office or when they're not. Any elected official, just like I think her name was Kate, said, we are elected by you. You're our boss, okay? And so it is up to the public. The public also has a duty to hold their elected officials responsible. And if you like the job that they're doing after 4 years, 2 years, 6 years, whatever position they have, you can reelect them, or you cannot reelect them if you don't like the job that they're doing. So there is no set hours. Just like down in Texas, they skip town and they're in Illinois now. That's just how it is, okay? And so there's really nothing to hold that to it. But my point is, and I think this board knows, and I think anybody in my office knows, and the senior center knows, that I try to come to work every day, every single day. Am I here the full 8 hours? Not all the full 8 hours, but there's many times that it goes beyond that. I go to meetings. I go to meetings at the county. I'll go to the meetings at the city. Okay, I'm looking for ways to make partnerships with Maryville and other places. There is so much outside of the duties that I just do in my office. But I'm proud of my job. I don't feel like I have to defend it. I give it 100%, and I'm very passionate about it. And so that's the answer there. I want to address, I never see any constituent as my enemy, not at all. But one thing that I do see, and it's really bothering me on a personal level too, and it's not just here, it's going on nationwide. Too many people are attacking each other, bullying them online, getting in their face with phones, and it's just, and these are elected officials. And not all elected officials are bad people. We have one in the back there, right? And she'll know what I'm talking about. I don't know if it's happened to her, but just because if you're an elected official and people that say, or a politician, you're gonna call it that, that does not mean that you're a bad person. You're a community servant. You're wanting to serve the community. You wanna do your very best. We might not always agree on how to get the very best for the community, okay? But we all agree we want the best. So that's where the debate comes in, okay? How do you get the best? And many times I see it, and I have seen it in the last few years, very personal against me, day in, day out. Constant bullying, constant, wherever I go, making up things about who I am as a person. And it's not right, because what's gonna happen, and this is where the cancer on the thing say, what I said, because you take what I say out of context. If you just complain and you wanna tear down the community constantly and tear down your local elected officials, no matter who they are, you will rip the community apart and you will divide people. That's not what we want. We wanna bring people together and work as a team. And like I said in the beginning, if I fail, then the township fails. If this board fails, everybody fails. We're working for you. Why can't we work as a team? Not try to play gotcha all the time. And if you disagree, that's fine. Come to a meeting, talk rationally about it. But you know, it's getting out of control in our society. And that's what I meant by that. Because if we start letting that become the norm, it's not good. And so, do I regret saying that and maybe somebody twisting what I meant? Sure. And I gotta learn too, and I apologize if that offended somebody, but I'm never against anybody, and I respect everybody's opinion, you know, and so that's that. I agree with the landscaping was the weeds were bad in front of the Collinsville Township sign. What's not really told, and that's why we took action. When I got a call from somebody that said, hey, I see something on Facebook that the weeds are high, then I went out there and looked, and I'm like, we gotta take care of this. I called up Kathy, and her crew was busy. I said, that's okay, we'll jump on it. Margot helped out, we jumped on it. The point is, I go in the back entrance, okay? I don't walk past that front entrance sometimes in a week, okay? That's just not the way I come in. And my point is, Don's sitting here, my manager. Don, how long have I asked you to say, hey, we gotta figure something out, at least a month?
Yep.
At least a month. And everybody knows, in the summertime, weeds just freaking grow, okay?
I got a question.
Right.
I saw somebody,
Well, there is a whole area on this.
okay,
Right. And then how did I write tax freezes down? Tax freezes. Oh, so to your point, that is absolutely true. In the report, and I didn't even think about that. Last January, when we were spending, it's this board's job to oversee the spending. That's why we approve the bills or we don't approve the bills. First class stamps on all these reminders about their senior freeze. All that was saying, hey, why are we using and I think at the time it was 73 cents, 73-cent stamps that we're actually putting on thousands of envelopes, when what you do is you send the list to a mail house, okay, and the one that I suggested was in Caseyville, and they do it for 30 cents, and you don't have to go down there or anything. They send you the bill, it's done, and it goes to your list. Why are we spending 73 cents on a first-class stamp? And the argument was, and when you two were on the board, the argument was, well, these have to be done by March. March is the deadline. So then I got an email from the county assessor that says, no, the deadline is December the 31st to work on the senior freezes from the county assessor. Then our assessor gets up and in public, on camera, says the county assessor is lying. All right, says it right there. They're lying. And these other townships don't know what they're talking about. March, he says it's due in March. I said, well, this is the email I got. Now, all I was trying to do was save money. On his report in black and white this month, he's working on senior freezes. If there's any more proof that I was correct, it's right there. If that wasn't the case, then why is he working on it? If they were due in March, why is he working on them in July?
Transparent.
August, whatever it is. And so that's it. All we were trying to do is save money. And question yourself, when you sit there and try to read things online and try to attack the person that just says, hey, here's a way to save money, maybe question yourself, maybe there was a motive there. You know, and again, if I do wrong, and I hope everybody's like this, say, hey, I could save money, I'll do it this way. You know, instead of getting so defensive. So that's, I hope I answered the questions. Anybody else? Go ahead. Anybody else? Good, okay. All right, moving on to old business, discussion regarding the future of township property. I put this on there because it's kind of to the point that I'm talking about. I know 3 of you were here when we had our swearing in, and we did a thing, and I said I wanted to be bold. I had ideas and I wanted to get things done because, and I'm not telling you just for this board, that the way I see it is, and you can agree or not agree, it doesn't mean that I don't like you, but if the township and the city, if we don't start doing something bold, I don't like the direction that I see things are going. I want to clean up areas of Collinsville, okay? And to do that, you got to have bold. And you can't attack every single idea. It is an idea. It's on the table. Why in the world is if somebody has an idea and you just attack it? It's like, then everybody's scared. And that's kind of what I feel like that has happened. Everybody is scared, and we're at the same spot that I was when I was a kid. Jim, you grew up here on Chestnut. It's the same as it looked when you were a child. That's what you told me.
Well,
It's the same.
a few more places are open then that are open now.
Right, and it's, what are we doing? And this is just, we're not the city of Collinsville, okay? And we can't do it all. And I get heat from some of my friends saying, no, you're not to do anything to help the city of Collinsville, you're the township. Well, township, the city taxpayers paid the same amount as people in the unincorporated area, which also they consider themselves the township. They pay the exact same amount. If you live in the city of Collinsville in Madison County, you pay the same amount as you would if you were in the unincorporated area. So I feel that this board can have an input and can have a positive impact if we can. And so we have a piece of property over here, catty corner to my office, which is next to Terry's Appliance Center, across from the Route 66 sign. It's been sitting there. It was purchased before I was even a trustee. I believe it was purchased, and Kathy, you might know, but 90,000, does that seem accurate?
It was like 96, I think.
Yeah, no, does that seem accurate? Yeah, the lot, yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Right around there, right around 100,000, okay? And it's just been sitting there. And so what do? Luckily, we don't have to pay taxes on it because the government body, right? I suggested that we do something great to try to help spur some growth on this end of town. When the mayor got elected, the first week in office, I was in with him and the city manager talking about what can we do on this end of town, okay? That was 3 years ago. And they said that was their number one priority. And I called them the other day and I said, hey, where are we at? Okay, what can we do? You know, and that's why I'm asking this board. What ideas do you guys have? Because some want to just criticize an idea that I have. What are some ideas? And let's try to figure out which direction would you like me to work?
So I can go first. I've been on the side since day one of, I think we should sell it and get the liability out from underneath us and let somebody who's professional to, develop it. Township should be in the real estate business.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So, well, if they were in the real estate, you mean give it, like, that would be real estate business.
Like creating
We're
a
selling it.
park or,
Mhm.
I just don't think we need to create another
Creative part.
liability.
Right, and so, and I respect that, because again, a lot of my friends, and you know them, right? I don't wanna try to, I don't wanna try to overstate it, but, they believe, and which I believe, in small government, okay? I don't wanna be involved with things, put any more burden on the taxpayer, if that makes sense. I don't want any burden on the taxpayer. The only reason that I suggested a park is that's where the grants are. Just like with this building here, the reason that we got that parking lot is because we got $125,000 of grant money for that parking lot. That it was actually voted down before to refuse the grant money. People say, well, that's taxpayers' money too. Yeah, but if we don't take it back, it is my job, this is the way I see it, you might disagree. It is my job to try to go get money back to our community. And that's what I wanna do, right? And for good things, not for crap, for good things. And so there is grant money, Route 60, Great Rivers, Routes and Roads, there's so much grant money, and they've been telling me for years that if we could just move the ketchup bottle, we could get more grant money and stuff. I know that sounds like, whoa, all right? It was just an idea, a bold idea that the Chamber of Commerce loved it when we talked about it, the city, and if we sell it, so here's my question. We could put a for sale sign up for it. Is this board willing to part with it for a much, do you think we can get $96,000 for what we paid for it?
I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I'd be willing to part with it.
And just take a loss.
At a reduced cost, if that's what we need to do.
Right, and to see what the price is, what we could get. Yeah,
I always sell it to the Parks District that gets created when a park is put on it.
I mean,
If it's, gonna be a city park, they're gonna pay for the property. We don't have to,
ideally, in my mind,
Mhm.
I would love to sell that piece and bank that cash, whatever it may be, in case these on the other end of our parking lot
Mhm.
ever came up for
well,
sale.
they are. I talked to the guy the other day.
And
But he wants, well, I can tell you offline,
Yeah, that's what we-
but he told me, and that was my only regret, but you know this, because we were sitting on the board together, this room was packed of people saying not to buy the land. My only regret moving forward was, or looking backwards, is I wish I would have tried to get more.
Yeah.
Because it would have helped everybody, and the point on this is why I'm still pushing. To your point and to other people's point that said we don't want any more liability. What I'm saying is, if we own the land right now, we don't owe any money on it, we own it, okay? What would be wrong with getting grants, doing some kind of enhancement, park enhancement type deal, and then working with the city of Collinsville, which I've already talked to them about, and having their parks department, they would basically take over it. It's all of the same money, it's your land anyway,
Yeah.
and let them do all the maintenance on it and then hand it over to them. You know, because I can tell you though, they're not gonna pay us cash. The city is not going to pay, because I've already tried that. You know, and so now it's just up for, will the guy that owns these apartments buy it if it's cheap enough? And is that what you, the taxpayers, want? You know, is that what's doing the best to revive Uptown? I was just trying to come up with a bold idea that would get a lot of attention and hopefully even drive some new business to Uptown. It would get nationwide attention. You know what I'm saying? It would. You know, and it might sound silly because you never thought about it, but I love Collinsville. And if tomorrow somebody came and wanted to buy the ketchup bottle for $50,000 and just tear it down and move it to Casey, Illinois, where they have those big, you know, I bet you the owners would probably sell it to them. You know, and just because what do they get out of it? The tax, we do not own it. It is privately owned. It has not been repainted since 1995. I was in the 8th grade. And something's got to be done. Who's going to lead that charge? I'm saying I can do that on the side. This might not be township thing, but something's got to be done. There's been fundraisers been going on for decades, but it didn't go to the ketchup bottle. And that's iconic to our area. People come from all over the world, and you Google Collinsville, and the first thing is the ketchup bottle. Why shouldn't that look amazing? You know, and so that's why I came up with that. That's why I was just promoting that idea. And so, do you guys have any? You know?
As far as me, I just thought maybe we'd do a food trucks.
Mhm.
Alton's got them. A couple of other cities have them, and they work really well. Just have a pavilion up there. We can still get grants for that, and then have 4 or 5 food trucks come up. We need more outdoor stuff uptown. A lot of stuff, people, if you look at the place where people eat, they're sitting outside, but they're small areas. So I just feel that we can get some music up there if you want, and just have food trucks pull in and then swap them out monthly. You know,
Mhm.
it would be just, you know, one of those deals that I think would be great.
Right.
If it's working in other cities, why not try it here?
So I had a meeting.
And that's bold.
Yes. No, it is. No, it is. Listen.
And, I mean, if you remember the old capital plan from, I don't even know how many years ago, Collinsville wouldn't be the food truck capital of the world.
Yeah.
So.
And
But
here's the
that
thing,
all went by the wayside.
just so you know, I brought that to that's because I guess it was probably maybe a couple of years ago, we had the same discussion, right, what to do. And then I went and had a meeting with the mayor and the city manager, and that was what we were pushing, was the food trucks. And they did not like that. And the reason, here's why, let me just tell you, is it wasn't that, it was, you know, they weren't like negative, like it was a horrible idea. They just said they did not think that it would work. And what I did not realize, this is what they told me, all right, that food trucks don't just show up if you ask them to come. You actually have to pay them.
Yep.
Because, and I didn't know that. I'm like, well, they're gonna make money. And to their point is, who's gonna come right on over here and do that in this parking lot? It just doesn't make any sense. That was their.
Well,
their
you would
thing.
have to fix, you know, put a pavilion, get some bathrooms, you would have to, you know, put some trees, you'd have to change it up.
Right.
But, you know, we have nice landscaping coming through town, it's just one, you know, just again, it's
Right.
just a suggestion.
Exactly. No, and
Just
I-
a thought, you know, I think if you brought it to the city in, a different, you know, show them plans, give them an idea.
Right.
And maybe something that, you know, at first I think they're just shutting it off, but who knows?
Right, no, I
Again,
agree.
it's just opinion.
100%, you know, just anything. I'm just trying to figure out which direction I go. Margaret, you got any ideas?
No, well, these are, I mean, great ideas. I mean, I like the food truck idea. And
Mhm.
if we go into some of the really nice Florida towns, they do that. You know, my only concern would be taking money from the businesses
That's
downtown.
exactly why it died.
And that, to me, could be a concern. You know.
Right, and same thing, it's like, I get flack for having, I can't believe it, for having the senior center doing so well, and we have $5 lunches, that's bad, because it's taking, I'm like, this is lunch, it's not dinner. I mean, if that causes your business to fail, I mean, you know, for giving seniors that, you know, low-income seniors a meal for $5. But my point is, how about this? What about, because I want to get somewhere. I don't want to just go to another meeting on this.
an argument that we would have though in regard to the other restaurants or things like that is that which restaurants are open, what timing would the food trucks be? And the other part is, there's really no restaurants down this end of town. There's really nothing going, I mean, like, well.
See, and I almost think that we're putting this, again, we're putting, what do they call it, the cart before the carriage or what?
Cart before the horse.
To me, yeah, we need to, there needs to be improvement on this end of town before people's gonna say, I wanna go to that, you know, and that needs to happen first. And that's why I was trying to think of something bold and an idea that would actually spur somebody driving up Main Street, a business owner, because this is what happens, all right? They're not familiar with Collinsville, and they're looking, where am I gonna start my business? They're driving up Main Street, and then they see a boarded up building and this going on, like, then they go to Glen Carbon or O'Fallon or Edwardsville, and they're like, maybe I'll try that. That's all I'm saying. And so, how about this? What would you guys be against? Go ahead, if you have one more.
I don't think we wanna, I know, we wanna do something for this end of town, but we wanna add to that end of town, not have a separation of the two. I don't.
It's only a
Well,
road.
of course it would blend.
Right.
It's
It's a
2
crosswalk.
blocks,
Yeah.
it's 2 blocks away from all them restaurants and the bars.
It's really.
We wanna add to that,
Yeah,
not take away from
you're
it.
talking one block, you have Heritage that just opened up not
Right.
long ago. You got Old Herald that's opening back up. We're literally, I mean, if anybody's even done the Italian Fest and all that, there is so much walking. You're not that far.
No,
Okay.
no.
If you want a beverage, you can go
Mhm.
right down, literally a block over.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Right.
people, I see them all the time, going from one bar to the other, or
Mhm.
restaurant.
That's exactly right.
So it's not that far, I
No,
don't think.
and again, it's just, you know, I'm biased because it's what, I mean, my thing is that just imagine, say if you had I'll say it one more time, you had the ketchup bottle there, you could see it down Main Street,
You can see
okay?
it from
You can have an area underneath it that's AstroTurf, you could still do the food trucks, you could do all that stuff, you could have a stage, and what that would do to uptown Collinsville, I think would be just massive, all right? But I think what we should do, because I have so many people that agree with you, Clint, I think maybe we should put it up for sale first, just to see. Because if not, then you're always gonna say, well, we should have just sold that land. We could have got, because I'll know how it's gonna work. He could have got $250,000 for that land, and I'm like, okay, so let's do it first this way. And I guess we can vote on this tonight, correct?
Nope.
We can't? Okay, discussion, sorry. Well, that'll give me time. That'll give me time to vote on it and think about it and sleep on it. But what I'm suggesting is that we'll contact a realtor, see what they think that it's worth, and we'll put it up for sale. And we'll say, hey, we're putting it up for sale for 30 days. And then at the end of 30 days, if it doesn't sell, and we'll come up with a price that is our rock bottom dollar. And if it sells, then it sells. And if it doesn't, then we'll move on to the next idea. What do you guys think?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'd like to be included in the discussions, because I've had some discussions with local.
People that would like to buy it?
People have some ideas that think they might be able to get it sold.
Oh, okay, right, but again, my other thing though is, because I don't think, this is just me, and you guys can speak about it at the next meeting, I don't wanna lose money. If we spent $96,000 on it, I don't think it would be fiscally responsible to just give it away. And not have any.
I'm not the guy over here saying sell it for
I'm not. I
$1, like
know.
some of our friends. are.
Right, that's what I'm saying, yeah. No, I'm not either, and so I just don't think that's the responsible thing to do, and so, anyway, we'll sleep on it and think about it, so good discussion. New business, approval of the resolution 2025 R10 in support of the Collinsville Kiwanis Club. We've done this multiple years. The Kiwanis does a lot of really good in our community. They're a 501c3, so we can do this, and Jim, do you remember, was it?
I left the 250, which is what we did last year.
Yes.
That's what I put in there.
$250, and so that's what we've done in the past. And they have their golf tournament coming up, their 9/11 Remembrance Golf Tournament coming up. So that's what we were a sponsor of the Collinsville Township for that.
motion approved 2025 R10.
I'll second it.
All right, roll call.
Trustee Prosser?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Crowell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Okay, next item is discussion regarding maintenance of the township office and CSE property. It was brought up in public comment, but I'll just kind of make it brief that, again, I knew that the weeds in front of the sign were getting high. There's been a few times this year that the grass has gotten really high, and if everybody knows in your yard, we've had a lot of rain. Some people it's good, some people it's bad. Don, it's not good for you right now. But anyway, your backyard. Anyway, long and short, you've had problems with the rain.
Yeah.
Right. So we've had a lot of rain, and so grass is growing really crazy right now, and weeds and things like that. And Kathy's Cruz is doing a good job keeping up with it. We bought her a new mower. She contacted me about a month and a half ago and said that they needed a new mower. We agreed to that. And so the weeds were going high. I was contacted and said, hey, there's something on Facebook that, that says that the weeds are high. I went out there and I said, oh crap, and then I said, well, I'll get to it this afternoon after work. And then I went down and I grabbed some rock and I put barrier down, and Margot came up and helped me with it. So what?
Well, I read a comment that somebody said it was the supervisor. Hello?
Yeah.
I read a comment that somebody said it was the supervisor's responsibility. Well, does that mean it's your responsibility to go out with a weed eater and?
So it wasn't just a comment, it was my comment. And the responsibility lies with the supervisor to get it done, no matter how he decides to get it done, just like anything else. If a window were to break or anything. So the definition of responsibility is what I was answering the question that was made from a constituent.
So let me ask you this though.
So if somebody wants to ask me directly about my comment,
I'll
I'm
ask
sitting right
you.
here.
I'll ask you. Right, because I think it's rude, and I think that nobody on this board. We're supposed to be a team, all right? We're supposed to get things done and work together, all right? And so
answering a question was rude?
to say, yes, it is, because that's not. Here's an intergovernmental agreement, okay? It's a lie. It's not true.
I did not lie.
Okay.
The responsibility
Here's what
lies with the supervisor.
What I'm saying
If you
is,
have an intergovernmental agreement, you signed it.
Yes.
The responsibility lies with the supervisor. That's the question I was asking.
you were saying, you were
Or
stating it to me.
That's the question that I was answering.
Right. And so what I'm saying is that we have an intergovernmental agreement with the roads department. They have been doing and a good job, all the landscaping, the mowing and trimming for years, before I was even on the board.
Derek.
You didn't do
We have never done the mowing and we've never done the landscaping. We come up once a year and trim the landscaping. Terry, contracted out the mowing. We've
Okay.
never been involved.
All right,
in it.
so
And my
here's the intergovernmental agreement.
agreement doesn't say anything that we specifically do. I just said that we would try to help you with the
Well, here's what
mowing.
it says. It says, it's got all this.
I know.
Here it says that the agreement is made, and it's just a lot of, and I got copies for everybody. There's two there. Because I want to make it where we're all clear exactly what we want to do moving forward. This is where I was upset. It is not, let's attack Derek because the weeds are high and then drive by and honk and point at him and laugh at him because I'm out there actually helping.
You're saying that I drove by, honked and laughed and pointed at you?
Hold on.
Now who's
Yeah.
lying there?
Absolutely.
You
She
are
was there.
lying.
No, I'm
I
not.
honked
No.
and waved.
No.
I was not pointing
It doesn't matter.
and
Do
you want
laughing.
the
It
dash
does
video?
matter.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
It does matter, Derek, because you sit up
Clint.
here and lie.
No,
You're sitting
We
up here
have the
and
dash cam
lying.
video.
Margot, what happened? You were there?
You were there.
I was.
I
We
honked
can
and
post
waved.
it. We'll post it.
You were
I
dri-
drove
you
by,
were
honked
driving
and
by
waved because I was on my way home.
Why didn't you stop? Okay, hold on. If we're a team.
Because I told you why I
Since
couldn't
way
stop. I had previous
Stop.
dinner plans.
Stop.
For 30 years.
All right, hey, Catherine, last warning.
What are you gonna do?
I just gave her a warning, settle down. What I'm saying is this, me personally, don't threaten me.
I'm not threatening
I'm
you.
trying to have a discussion, all right? Me personally, all right, you might be different. If I saw my teammates out there volunteering, doing something in the heat, I would stop and say, hey, guys, I got dinner plans, or I would help. Thank you for doing this.
You texted me
Okay.
and I responded.
Listen, yes, I said come
After
back.
I passed.
I said come, but
And what did I say?
I'm telling you what I would do. I can't
I
live
did
your
what I
life
did,
for
and
you.
I stand by
You
it.
do, you did, and that's your personality, and you're fine with that. What I'm saying is what I would do. My point is this.
I'm not you,
The
trust me.
agreement, yes, the agreement is that, again, all it says, and everybody has it in front of them there, and it's very straightforward, and it's pretty simple. It says in the back, labor. The labor necessary to properly carry out needed tasks will be provided to each entity by the other free of charge. Equipment and supplies. Equipment only rented, in parentheses, and supplies necessary to properly carry out the task for Collinsville Township could be provided by Collinsville Township Road District, but will be paid for by Collinsville Township at cost. Meaning, just like what Kathy said, when she needed a new mower, it came out of my budget and we bought a new mower, okay? My whole point to this thing is that in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, there was no problems, okay? There was no problems. Everything was getting done. Everything was fine, okay? My point is, and to the roads, they cleaned up here, they cleaned up up there. They did all that. This year, because we've had a lot of rain, the weeds got a little higher, okay? And so we fixed it. There's not a big controversy. The only reason that this is something is because of social media, and there's a few people that are just anything you can gravitate to, want to make a big deal, and it's not helping. And so my point is, what do we do moving forward? Okay? If, you know, and just so you know, we did the front. I still gotta buy some more rock to put in it. It's a little bit more rock. But back on the other side, it still needs some work.
So, working with the city
Yeah.
for years, what Kathy had said, Terry did at the time, he would hire out the grass cutting. Mary and Gabby, that works down here,
Mhm.
used to work in that office, they would go out themselves, do the flowers, I'd see them out there.
Yeah.
Putting up mums, doing whatever, pulling the weeds.
Yes.
Again, I know Kathy, whatever the agreement was with you guys, they are very busy, shorthanded, and every year I think it just gets worse and worse for them trying to get their stuff done to try to get up there. Just this thought, maybe they're trying to get some volunteers for the landscaping part, if they still wanna do the grass and the sidewalks as far as plowing. And maybe get some volunteers. We're trying to get the garden going over there, to help out, because we all talked about it. If anybody knows my place even, you're there every week, at least this time of year, pulling weeds, spraying weeds, doing it.
Yes.
And it's difficult for them at this point. They're trying to take care of the unincorporated
Yeah.
areas. And just like even the shovel and all that. Trust me, when they go out, we've done 20, 30 hours straight, even 15, 20 hours, whatever, 10, 12 hours of plowing. It's the last thing they wanna try to get out there and try to shovel. Just, again, opinion. Maybe just have somebody, a landscaper, do the grass. I know you just bought a mower, maybe work something out with that, I don't know. And again, this is between you guys, but just me thinking. And get a landscaper to come in, do the grass, and just do the landscaping, do it all. And then even clean the sidewalks. That makes it a heck of a lot easier for these people out there. People don't see what's behind the scenes when they're plowing snow. It ain't just going out, everybody's like, oh, roads look great, you know, well, the roads are done. They have to go back, working on trucks, emptying out the salt, washing them, cleaning them, it takes days. So I know they try to do it the next day. And again, I think Kathy was trying just to help or get this agreement with you, but times change, things have happened, you know.
Right, and all I'm saying is, I'm fine with whatever, I'm just letting Clint know that this is the agreement that we had, okay? And it would be like you telling me, why aren't you up on the water tower cleaning it? You know, and it's like, come on.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
you know,
think it's
but
an
I
easy
still,
fix.
I probably would. I would probably get up there if I could and clean the water tower.
Right.
Because no job is beneath me. That's how I am. I enjoyed it. We had a good time. All right, but I don't appreciate being mocked for volunteering. That's not right. That's not the way we should be as neighbors. And so all I'm trying to do is figure out if, and to your point, on the mowing stuff, that is gonna cost money.
Right.
So,
But it's costing Kathy out of her budget, correct? I mean, she's not sending you a bill. I don't know, I haven't seen one.
No.
So there's no bill.
Right, it says no cost, we'll
Right.
properly carry out all these duties.
So, and I'm just thinking here, we as taxpayers are still paying. I mean, if Kathy's spending her fuel, whatever time, manpower, whatever, salting, all that, the tax is coming out of her budget and just staying out of her budget. The taxpayer's still paying for it. So is there really a difference of hiring a landscaper and still taking it out of the taxpayers? You know, one way or the other, somebody's paying for it, correct?
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is that, I don't think that, are you suggesting then next year, if we go hire a landscaper, that we deduct that from her budget?
No.
Because then we'd be
no.
playing twice.
No, I didn't say that.
No, do you see what I'm saying though, right?
Yeah, I think is that part of, these buildings, is that part of your area? Or is it part of, we have three different divisions. We have, of course, Pete, you, and Kathy. Who is it really in charge of the buildings as set? Is Kathy, I think, from what and I used to work there, so I know.
Right.
They're mainly set up to take care of the unincorporated area, the roads, the grasses, the right-of-ways, all that stuff. So you have an agreement because she's hopefully, and I'm speaking for her a little bit here, I'm hoping she's doing, I think, more of to help.
That's great,
So,
that's the way I wanna be too with her.
Exactly, but do we need to go back to the old way and have it hired out like it used to be and make it easier for them, for her, and you've only got one person. If there's a problem with it, you call that landscaper and say, hey, you're supposed to be here every
Right,
week
absolutely,
to do
right.
this. Where they may not be able to get there as quick, and then we start having weeds. We all know, you can look at one day and 3 days later, there's a weed.
And I will say, Kathy, the very next day, she had folks up there,
Right.
the very next day, you
So,
know?
I don't know, I mean, just something that maybe you two can talk about and see if this needs to go a different route, one way or the other. And again, we're trying to keep everything in-house to make it easier, but it's still costing somewhere. It's costing out of her budget right now, or would it be costing out of another budget that we can come up saying?
But that's all I'm saying is that then because then it would, you understand what I'm saying?
Right. We may have to start a
Then
budget.
would it be two different,
Well,
we're
if
paying
she-
her the same, but we're not getting the same, and then we'll have to go buy, we'll have to pay for a landscaper.
Yeah, but you're not paying her right now for doing the work, correct?
No,
Okay, so if we pay it through a landscaping, put that in your budget, saying, hey, this is where this needs to be done, and then we go from there. Because she's not getting paid back one way or the other. It's coming out of taxpayers' money, one way or the other, if I'm correct.
right, I'm just thinking as a taxpayer, I don't know if anybody's following what I'm saying, is that we're still going to pay her the same, she's going to be doing less. Do you agree with that?
No, he just asked.
No, I'm saying if we decide to get a landscaper,
Right.
this should make sense. If we decide to get a landscaper, all right, and Kathy no longer, the roads department no longer has to take care of the township senior center
Right.
and the office building, okay? We're still going to pay her
What account do you
the same amount that we did, that whatever, what she asked for, we're still gonna pay her for the same amount. We're not saving any money, we're going to be spending more money, because now we have to go out and hire a
Whatever she's
landscaper.
asking, and I don't know what the budget is on her to do this.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So that could be changed up again. And again, I'm just a trustee, it's something
Right,
that maybe
but
you.
did
and
you
her-
understand what I mean, though?
Yeah, I mean.
Because I'm not gonna cut her budget, so we're not really, it would be like, what you're saying is, oh, we're gonna save here so we can spend here. Well, that's not really accurate, because we're not saving here, we're just gonna spend here.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. And so it is gonna be more money to the taxpayers. And I appreciate, and that's why I talked to Kathy beforehand. I do not want this to be personal whatsoever. This was just, it's weeds, and again, it's the public trying to divide, and we're in this together. And right when I got elected, I came down and talked to you. I said, I want people to look at the Collinsville Township and love the Collinsville Township more than other units of government. And that means I want to work together. And so if she thinks that because she's got more going on and stuff that, we don't want to do the intergovernmental agreement anymore, then let me know, and then I'll figure out, I got a miscellaneous budget, and I can, at least for the rest of the year, because it's gonna get, and figure it out. I mean, maybe, Clint, you said you would want to volunteer. There's parts in the back. Let's go get some rock. If you want to, let me know when you want to do it.
Yeah, we can, just the landscaping part, have volunteers at least do the flowers, the weeds, and then let them still cut grass or do whatever.
Yeah, so.
I'm just giving multiple options to make this easier, so we don't come back to the same problem again, because it's gonna happen, because the weeds grow that fast right now. This time.
Right.
And the problem with volunteers is that, just like Carol told us,
Yep.
they just don't show up. So if they don't show up, then you're a dog. Then it's on you, you're the bad guy.
Right, and that
Because
comes
the
with it.
volunteers didn't show up, and because if any of us saw it, we didn't call up and say, hey Derek, we saw this on social media, can we nip this in the bud? And, cause it always blows up into some kind of a big,
Right.
bad Derek.
Right.
So.
We need to put it on the agenda that we are gonna assign this task to somebody. And can we please not answer social media discussions about business that pertains to the township on social media? There was no need for a response to that comment.
What, my comment?
Yes.
It was a direct question from his stepmother.
All right,
Still.
listen.
And if you have a comment, you got my number, bring it forward to me. Instead of setting up a circus up here tonight.
It's not, listen.
Let's
Yeah.
turn it
Well,
off.
Yeah, we're moving on. It's obvious. Yeah, it's obvious to everybody. Yeah, Kathy will work together. We'll figure out something, and then I'll figure out what we want to, I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. So a consent agenda, items A through E.
Right, so we have the minutes from the last meeting, and then the reports from the assessor, the highway commissioner, the supervisor, and myself.
Motion to approve.
Approved.
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Ball?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Crowell?
Yes.
Prosser?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. All right, approval of bills, clerk.
All right, first thing up on the bills was general assistance, which we had expenditures for the month of $6,597.15.
A motion we approve those expenditures.
I'll second it.
Okay, no questions, roll call.
Trustee Sewell?
Yes.
Crowell?
Yes.
Prosser?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
Road and Bridge for the month had expenditures of $360,220.40.
Motion approved.
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Crowell?
Yes.
Prosser?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
There were no expenditures in the Road and Bridge Equipment Fund. In the Town Fund, we had expenditures for the month of $100,295.12.
I motion we approve those expenditures.
I'll second it.
Okay, no questions, roll call.
Trustee Prosser?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Crowell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
Finally, the Senior Center had expenditures for the month of $8,648.53.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Ball?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yeah.
Crowell?
Yes.
Did I call you Prosser?
Yes.
Supervisor
Okay,
Cox.
Supervisor Cox.
Yes.
I couldn't remember where I started.
It's all good.
I'm a senior, you know.
And next up is Kathy.
I am happy to report that the Lebanon Road project, probably by the end of the month, you'll be able to go off to the new Lockman Lane and then go around to get to the old Lebanon. I don't know when the bridge is gonna be completed. They haven't given me any time frame on that. They have to work that out with the railroad. So it will be a while for that, but at least you'll be able to get around a lot easier. We are in the process too of, the bridge is gonna be replaced that goes over Pleasant Ridge off of East Country Lane. There's a bridge that goes over the interstate there, and that's going to be, replaced in 2026 sometime. They're going out for bidding on it. They are gonna improve our drainage system for us coming from the bridge on the, west side of the road. And then they're also going to put a trail that you can continue walking, a walking trail there. So we have agreed with them to, take the maintenance over of that when they get that, replaced for us. The drainage is concrete, so we shouldn't really have a problem with it. And then the trail will just be a matter of weed eating around it. We mow there anyway, so, not a big problem, but it will improve the area. There will be a continuous walking trail, I believe, going down to the one, past the bridge on Pleasant Ridge. We're still working on North Shore, or South Shore rather. We're getting that widened. I hope to have that complete within the next month also. That's starting to look really nice. I know Mike's property backs up to that, so,
The other day.
yeah. And so that'll be, once I get that done, I've got all of Lakeview Acres paved. Lakeview Acres Road, down the road's gonna need it again, but the rest of it's in really good shape. Next year, we're going to be working on gutter repairs and replacement out in the rest of Dieterding that needs to be paved, and then Dieterding will be completely paved too. They're still working on Pat Drive on the water for Maryville. Maryville's the water out there, and they're, putting in bigger lines. So that is still going on, and I don't know yet when that's gonna be completed. I put a call in to Matt, and hopefully I'll talk to him tomorrow. Otherwise than that, we're just busy. I have 2 people out. I've had 2 people out, one all year, the other one's been out since July. I don't know when the one in July, when or if he'll ever be back. My summer help's all leaving the end of this week. Most of them are already gone. So I'm down to the six workers and, just, do as much as we can. The one guy that's out, right now is the one that did a lot of our mowing and boom mowing and all that. And, I don't have any idea when or if he'll return at this point. So, that's where I'm at right now, and just busy is all I've got to say. I did go to a seminar at the end of this month, or the beginning of the month, last week actually, to East Peoria for the Illinois Township Commissioners Association, and there is a lot of not good things happening up at the state of Illinois concerning townships. So I really don't wanna elaborate on anything, cause nothing's set in stone yet. But once I know more, I'll bring it to the board and let you know what's going on. But right now, it's just a lot of different things that are being thrown around, so there's nothing definite there yet. Some silly things like they're talking about making bicyclists, not that they can use our roads, but that they are a part of the road, meaning that every road would have to be flat, and there's no way none of that could happen. So some of the things that they're pushing around are a little bit, I don't think they're gonna go through, but the things with the townships, I don't know. It's a lot, not good things, so, I'll just keep my ears open, and when I know something more definite, I'll let you know what's going on.
And that's why you understood, like even on day one, when back in 2021, I want to make sure that people love the township. And sometimes that means helping each other out where we can, and so that's all because it does matter when it comes to this, because a lot of places, the townships don't have any duties and they're not doing anything. That's not here though. And so anytime that we can work together, I think that the taxpayers appreciate that.
Right.
And so I appreciate that. And-
I do, it's just gotten to be a lot, and we, like I said, I've probably taken on a little more than I should, you know, when it comes to, cause like I said, they used to contract out the mowing, the landscaping, we would help just trim it back once a year when we did the Christmas lights, which would come in up here and do. And this spring, I sent somebody out, 2 people, to pull all the weeds, sent the spray up, told them what to do with it to keep them at at bay, and it just didn't happen, so.
And just so,
You know,
we don't have to get the flag up.
Yeah,
Don went into the fire
they didn't
department
call
and they
in.
came out and did it today.
Which, that's
The
great,
Collinsville Fire
but
Department.
I never knew that you got the stuff for it, I was.
Yeah, it's,
calling.
yeah.
So, anyway, but anyway, yeah, and the cleaning the sidewalks, we never cleaned the sidewalks before when it snowed either. The one thing that I've always done is clean the lots, we have the equipment for that, and I would never say that we, can't get the lots cleaned in that for you. But yeah, it's just taken on a lot, and, I've got a lot of vacation out of there, and, I mean, there were weeks this year when I had 3 or
Right.
4 full-time people, that's all I had, and luckily I had 4 or 5 summer help, so they're the ones that go out and do a lot of the extra mowing, but I'm losing them too, so.
I understand.
So anyway.
Thank you.
All right, that's all I've got.
Next up was the assessor, and again, I will just say, it's the same exact report every single month that has the same items on it. It's up to this board, we waited 4 years last time, and if you ever want to see the assessor, or if you have any questions, or if you think that, it could be anything. I think that we should speak up now and don't wait till the election time and say, hey, what's going on? I haven't seen him. So that's where we're at. Trustees.
Did the assessor spend the same amount of money this last month as before?
Yes.
Couldn't hear you.
You're good.
I asked if the assessor has reduced his spending, and I don't see that that's happened yet.
You got reports, I sent you reports from them, so you just have to look at those.
It's the,
I send them every month.
you mean the bills?
No, there's a separate report they send for their expenditures for the month, I send it to you every month. He sends it to me, I forward it to all of you guys,
Yes,
every
correct.
month.
Yep, correct.
So I would just compare those, because I can't answer the question.
So, everything is the same since the budget, and so that's not on us, to tell him
What
how to
happens
do it.
at the end of the year, or in January, February, when all the money's spent?
Then, we'll have to, I don't know, is there,
Not that we're gonna talk about in open session.
okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. All right, anything, trustee?
Yeah, I got some comments to make tonight. Hey, let's just continue speaking on tonight's theme is social media. I personally have had a fellow trustee accuse me of theft and property damage publicly. I think I deserve a retraction and apology from trustee Crowell. And then I have some other questions for the supervisor. Hopefully he addresses these in his statement, because I didn't see too much in his report.
Yeah. When I turned it down, you turned on the master.
No, go ahead, sorry.
The first thing I wanted to ask is, you had some comments about our bank accounts and sticking with Busey, in your report and everything.
The time before, you mean, or this time?
This time.
Right.
Your report.
Yes, FCB, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I saw in your
Yes.
report that,
Yeah.
you had some discussions and everything.
Yeah.
I'd like to follow up that with, what closed door meeting with private citizens discussing our township bank accounts occurred, what were the summary of that meeting, and why would you have a meeting like that with our new accountant and private citizens? I'd like some clarification on that. And then the one that I always go back to, how are we doing on our federal reimbursement for the solar project? I know that I had reached out to you, and you had said that you had forwarded the paperwork onto our accountant to help with some of the process of getting that going. Where do we stand on that today? If you could address that, it'd be great too.
Okay. I can do that during my supervisor's comment. Anything? Argo?
Yeah, we,
Put the mic closer to you.
oh, sorry.
You're good.
Mike and I, got together with Carol, for a meeting for the community garden, just a little report on that. And we're having another meeting for that committee on Friday at 1 o'clock, and we've been working on the details of those. And then I do, have a few comments in regard to the social media thing that happened. So, I contacted you in regard to this, and then you gave me this document about the intergovernment. You had discussed that, having that agreement. I am very glad that, you guys are gonna work together, Kathy, but when someone, I'm just asking, when it comes to what we're dealing with in the community, there is a group that is a cancer. Some of this group they are not even citizens. They have fake profiles, and they're attacking the township with personal comments and statements. And I personally would just like to see us work together as a team. And when someone says something that we are faulty, any of us, that we contact each other professionally and we say, hey, this is going on social media. Can we take care of this? Because I will stand up for any one of us who are being attacked personally. That was a personal attack. Your response was township supervisor immediately. And I'm gonna stand up for that because I think it should have been brought privately. It should have been.
It was a public question.
Hey,
asked by a
she didn't
citizen.
interrupt you.
It was a public question. And did we have the correct, perfect answer?
Yes,
No, we did not.
yes, we did.
We didn't. We had an agreement that
Signed by who?
is,
Kathy and
And you.
and,
Correct.
yes,
So
and
you're
this
responsible.
agreement, and this agreement obviously needed some adjustment. It needed some clarification, not a impromptu jump on that answer. I would like to see us work as a team. I would like to see our families work as a team and talk to one another privately. You know, I had some family members threaten me, but I've also had some family members kindly talk to me privately because they wanted to clarify some comments. Our groups work together. One of the things that Derek and I struggled with was union. Can we go out here and are we gonna step on anybody's toes, union-wise? Are we gonna stir up something if we go out and do work? Where is the agreement? What are the details? That's the first thing I asked him. When it started, I contacted Derek and said, we got some social media stuff going on. How do we do this? Are we gonna step on toes if we jump up and do something? He was like, I'm going, I'm gonna get this, we're gonna take care of it, we're gonna do this right away. First, is it our job? And if it's not, let's figure out the agreement on it, but let's not talk to the public about it. Let's just not jump out there and start throwing each other under the bus. You know, because I will stand up for any one of us. It was an attack. It was an attack on what we look like. That building is the first impression of all of us. People go in there to pay bills. They go in there to pay their taxes. They go in there to seek help. it's the first impression. If we don't have something going on, and say somebody comes to you or comes to me, let's get a hold of each other, let's jump on this so we're professionally, taking care of things. And then also, I just had a comment in regard to, I have a question on elected officials. There's a couple things I had. What is the insurance for elected officials? And what is the requirement for them to have that insurance?
Okay, I can answer when.
Okay, and then, and the other thing is too, is that personal attacks. When I said 2 meetings ago, or a couple of meetings ago, I said numbers, I don't understand the numbers. You said, I don't think that you should vote if you don't understand numbers. You didn't clarify what I meant by numbers. By numbers, I meant, as a trustee, when these budgets come across, and we're reading through these bills, Kathy, everything she has is perfect. I mean, it spells it out. They work hard to spell it out. The assessor's office, why are you spending this money? Who's there? I mean, it needs to be spelled out. We're approving this money. We're working for the taxpayer. We're not working for the employees on Road and Bridge. We're not working for the employees in the assessor's office. We all work for the taxpayer. We owe that. We owe them when we approve these bills to know what we're approving. Do we even know what we're approving?
For the assessor.
So anyway, that was one, and then I'd like to know what that is for the elected officials, and then in regard to us just, going ahead and we were upset in regard to the assessor's, issue the last time. And one of us made a comment and said, it's only $150,000 more. If every levy for taxes comes up and says, oh, it's just another 100,000 this year. Oh, the people's homes are being assessed a lot higher, there's money there. Let's just go after and get some more of that money. That's not supporting the taxpayers. Just because there's more money doesn't mean we need to levy more. Thank you.
Yes, correct. I agree with that. Yes, I do, and I had some stuff written down. I'm trying to find it here. On this, thank you guys. On the senior center, I'll just have to go off the top of my head. We started, Mondays are our lowest days, trying to get more people active and in here. So we started our Queen of Hearts door prize, and it's going pretty good. What else are we doing here at the CSC? We started CSC TV, which is a lot of fun. It's got different little promotions in there, different pictures that show up on the big screen. The seniors like it, and we're gonna be selling advertising even for that.
So that's just like something you see here?
Yeah, just for here and on the big screen while 100 people are eating lunch, and then the money can go towards helping things here at the CSC. But we're always, just so everybody knows, the one big thing that has happened in the last month, and when I'm putting these little commercials and things like that together, which by the way I do sometimes at midnight at home, doing things. My point is, I'm going through old pictures and things. When you're a senior center, we've lost upward of 50 people in the last 4 years, and so it's very hard to continue to grow or stay the same if you're not constantly on the cutting edge. Ask churches out there, they'll tell you, if you're not doing something new and fresh ideas, you're gonna lose your congregation, and so you gotta always be doing things that are fun and looking towards the future, because I want this to be a place that when I leave, it is a great place for our community and our seniors that would rather otherwise be at home with nothing to do to come in and have a great place. I want this to be the best in the state. That man, that is an awesome place, and that's what we're always striving to do. And so we've seen, I would say, around 20 new faces just in the last couple of weeks. And they've been back day after day. And that's what makes me happy, when we see new faces. So things are going really well. Clerk?
Nothing for me.
Okay. I will say that I've seen that we have several FOIAs coming in again.
It hasn't stopped.
I know. And here's what the public needs to understand too. We are all 100% transparent. Nothing's going on, no conspiracies, we're here, all right? These FOIAs cost you, the taxpayers, money, okay? When we have to call in IT and pull video footage and all this for he said, she said, I mean, all this stuff, it's costing. Around the election, that little meeting we had cost thousands of dollars in attorney's fees and everything. For what? You can do it. You can FOIA all day long. I guess we could start FOIA-ing emails at the assessor's office.
Don't encourage it.
You know, we can start doing it. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's see. They said they did emails last month. We'll see how many emails they did. You know, and how many people they met at the front desk.
Good point.
You know, we can do all that. I choose not to do that because I would rather work with this board and try to figure out the best way forward for the taxpayers, because I know it costs money. What I'm asking you to do, and I'll ask the lawyer if it's legal, but what I've been told by other units of government that had the same problem with usually one person constantly FOIAing, you know, we know somebody knows who it is, that it is stated, this person FOIA'd, here's how much that the balance is, and if that balance is paid. Like when it comes to copies, we give the first 50 sheets, I believe, are free. And then after that, I can't remember what the charge is. I think it's 15 cents or 10 cents or whatnot. Because back during the election, I had to print stacks and stacks of paper. Okay, that's taxpayer stuff. All right? And so I'm asking, is that legal to say that, you know, during the clerk's report, if he gets a FOIA, to say, because I know that MCT does this, that so-and-so FOIA'd, and this, you know, and so if it's constant 6 FOIAs from the same person.
So there are rules around FOIAs regarding if you do get a repeat requester. I don't know off the top of my head.
It's a lot, it's like 30
It's a
a month.
lot, yeah.
We don't have anybody that's come anywhere even.
That you can deny, that start denying them outright.
Well, I'm not saying deny them. I'm not saying deny them.
Just make them pay.
No, I'm saying that,
You can't do that either.
I'm saying during the meeting, shouldn't we know who is FOIAing?
I don't know that it's legal or illegal. I
You
don't
need to
know.
look into it.
Issue a FOIA, then I'll tell you who FOIA is.
Oh, we'll issue a
FOIA me
FOIA
and I'll
on the
tell you.
FOIA.
Right, I don't know why you couldn't. I guess I don't know how you reach those figures if we're not actually charging for them because it's not a commercial request or it's not voluminous or.
No, what I'm saying, it starts with just saying, so-and-so FOIA'd. If I FOIA emails, it says Derek Cox FOIA'd emails, okay? I'm saying during the meeting, say, it says it on the agenda, or the clerk says, I got 3 FOIAs from this person. I got 2 FOIAs from this person.
We do get FOIAs that are anonymous. I have one right now. I've had numerous of them before. I personally would prefer not to say. If somebody wants to know, it's public record. They have to tell you if you want to know.
I would say I don't think that there's anything illegal about saying if that's what the question is.
Oh, that was my question, right. I mean, it's just.
I mean, I can provide that detail in my report.
And
Where
it's
they come from.
It provide, if you're trying to hurt me, it's not hurting me.
It hurts me.
Him, it hurts him. There's nothing going, everything is out there. There's nothing,
I have a
no conspiracy, yes.
I read the state law on FOIAs. They get the first 2 hours of work for free.
Oh, that's a commercial for you, Brad. That's a commercial for you. And we get those, and I decline those sometimes. If Don issues me a FOIA about your emails, I have to comply with that. I do everything electronically. I'm not sending him any written copies, so I have nothing to charge him for. And if I have to personally make 1,000 copies, That's my internal work, I cannot charge him for it, that's the law. Commercial FOIAs are a whole nother story.
Okay, maybe that I would.
So, cause we get those, I had a business a couple of months ago that wanted me to provide 4 years of financial records. And it was somebody that was trying to sell us some type of services. I denied it because it would be,
Yeah.
it would be burdensome on us, and I never heard from the guy again. So, you know, in those cases, that's what I'm gonna do, and if they don't like the response, they can go to the public access counselor and file a complaint, and then they might force me to do it, but in those cases, we can deny that, and we do. But if it's a personal one, you know, you send me a FOIA, I have to comply, that's just the law.
All right, but I'm just trying to figure out a way to, I mean, because it sometimes, and it hasn't been as bad as I know the county and MCT was dealing with it on a major level. That was just a suggestion that I was given to say, hey, this person FOIA is this much, you know, even though it's legal, again, it's costing all of us. It's costing you, the taxpayer. So anyway.
And it irritates me.
That doesn't irritate me.
Yeah, I mean, that-
It only irritates me because it's wrong that it's adding extra burden to you, and it's silly, it's childish, you know.
It sounds like it would be fine, I mean, like, under the clerk's
I can put in my report, I can name, like I said, there's one right now I have that, it's an email address, that's all I know.
Right. So, anyway, I'll get to the, okay, so supervisor's comments, let me see here, gosh, where did I be? To answer trustee Ball about the banking, because it was in my supervisor's report, I want to thank FCB. At the last meeting, I decided to go with Busey because it was the best rates out there, and they were going to give us the exact same rate on every single account. Okay, so it doesn't need to, even though some people would say, well, you have too many accounts. Well, it doesn't really matter, okay? And so I went to FCB right before I signed all the paperwork to start moving accounts, because A, it was gonna cost us money in checks. You're gonna have to get new checks for all the departments. QuickBooks, you're gonna have to change all the stuff, a lot of work. You know, and my staff was not happy, and I know Road and Bridge was not happy, even though, yes, it was gonna produce some more money, but that's a lot of work, you know? And so, contacted FCB, I said, listen, here's what they're doing, can you do? And they did better. 3.6% on every single checking account, all right? That's unheard of. You can't, and a lot of these banks, even on a CD, that's all you're making on a CD. And so, no fees, no nothing. We did eliminate a couple of accounts that were really unnecessary, just don't need them. And then the sweep accounts don't exist anymore. So that makes things a little bit easier that were there. The reason that I called in our accountant and banker and an ex-banker, all right, these are the same people that were constant saying, hey, we need less accounts, less accounts, less accounts. I want to be on the same page. I want everybody's input. If anybody that doesn't, if you don't like me, I still take your input. And I think about it, because I respect you. You're my boss, okay? And so I was getting a lot, and you guys know this, I was getting like, no, we should have two accounts. Well, our accountant was saying, no, that would create a nightmare. Don was in the meeting, and I wouldn't say it got heated, but I wanted, let's hear it out. You know, you say we should have two, our accountant says that it doesn't really matter, tell me the differences. And so we all talked about it, Don was in the room, and we came to the conclusion that it really doesn't matter as long as we're getting that 3.6% on every single account. You know, so that makes the accounting easier. So if you're writing a check for the audit fund, you don't have to transfer the money from the general fund just to this audit fund. It makes it an accounting nightmare in QuickBooks. And so that's why I did that. I wanted to get more people's input before I made the decision on that. think there was a question on insurance. So on our township insurance, we are, as elected officials, we're covered by our, I guess what it'd be called, is it liability, it's through CAI.
Errors and omissions.
Yeah, and if it's like a township business or something, and let's say, okay, for example, I'll just say this, that we were being threatened as a board that we were going to be sued year after year after year. And when they do that, I know this happened at CARD, because you were on there, I think, when it happened, all right? When there was a lawsuit, they actually name each individual, because you're on the board and you cut the budget, and so it will say the lawsuit is against you, me, okay, right? But we are insured by that. And so the insurance then kicks in on our elected stuff. Now, if you go out and you get in a car wreck, or if you do something like that, that has nothing to do with the township. Does that make sense? So as an elected official, any actions that you're doing, you are covered as an elected official for the township.
My concern was more about, elected officials, managers, et cetera, who get health insurance. What is the requirement?
Oh, you're talking about health insurance.
Yeah, I'm talking about that. What is what is that called? The
IMRF.
IMRF.
Well, that's a
No,
requirement.
that's
IMRF
Blue
is a
Cross is
requirement.
Oh, no, okay, so if I
So
got you
like-
right, so
like-
all the employees, full-time employees, and full-time elected officials get the, health insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Okay, as a trustee, that was never
They-
offered.
The elected officials don't get health insurance or IMRF. The only elected officials that's offered to are yourself, the assessor, and the road commissioner. That's available to them. The trustees, myself, you don't get anything. I mean, first of all, we're not employees, we're elected officials.
Right.
There's a big difference.
So what are the requirements for Derek, Kathy, and Pete Paletti to be able to get?
It's in we have a resolution was a salary setting resolution, and it's spelled out there.
Yes.
It's available for them if they choose to accept. Kathy's already retired, so she doesn't contribute to IMRF. Derek has chosen not to contribute to IMRF, but they all get health insurance. And that's in our salary setting resolution, which
Right.
we do once every 4 years.
And I'll just be honest, the reason that I didn't do IMRF when I was elected, I was told that I couldn't do it.
No,
And so that's what happened.
Yeah.
Right, I was told that I
We
couldn't do
straightened
it.
that out.
And 3 years later, I find out that I could have done it. And so I just decided, it is what it is.
So any of those benefits require any of you to have any more hours in?
IMRF has a stipulation in the state law that you were supposed to work no less than, how many
I
hours?
think it's 600.
Yeah, in a year.
Yeah,
In a year?
that's an employee, so if we have an employee, if they work more than that, then we have to make it available to them.
Well,
They don't have to take it, but we have to make it available to them.
yes, I think the board changed it to 1,000 hours. But it used to be 600 and we changed it to 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 was, I thought
Yeah.
it worked out to 20
Yeah.
hours a week.
But as far as an elected official, they have to work at least 600 in order to be paid IMRF.
So,
But I just chose, yeah. we
So
just
you're
chose
saying
that.
if you're an IMRF, the law is you have to work 20 hours a week?
I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
It
I
works
believe
out to
that's
be
what it
1,000.
is.
Once you get to that 1,000 hours, anything over that within that year, then they have the right to tell you, hey, you can get on IMRF. So part-time people, they'll work them up to 900 some hours, and then that way they're off of that. We don't have to accept them to do the IMRF. But as officials, you guys are at 600. But if as an employee, if I went to work for Kathy as a part-time employee to get in there, and if I hit over that 1,000 hours, then the
I would
town-
have to pay.
She would have to
Right,
start paying.
but see, yeah, I'm not in IMRF,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
not
curious that,
Either.
so like, how would you, yeah, Kathy's not into it, and so.
She used to be, but now
Yeah,
she's
not now.
retired
Right,
now. Yeah.
and so I'm just, like, how do you even, again, elected officials don't have set hours.
They have to work 20 hours a week.
Right.
That, I mean, that's part of the
Well-
salary setting resolution, we made that, as a board, we chose to make that available to the assessor, the supervisor, and the road commissioner, because it was the board's feeling, or that's what's in the resolution, that they work that many hours, therefore they qualify.
Right.
And so that's, it's available to those three if they choose to take it. Obviously, nobody else works that many hours, so it's not offered to them. Although it's not, in some townships, some other, at one time, we had IMRF available for our trustees. But they
Yes.
eliminated that,
They
the law
eliminated it. Right.
eliminated that.
Okay. I had a list of things I was gonna speak about, but my mind, and we've had a long meeting. I didn't think it was gonna be.
He
long.
asked about the,
Federal
solar,
solar.
federal.
Oh,
solar.
okay, the solar. Great, and again, maybe I let things, but I don't get any thank you, no good job, ever, all right? Ever. We had the check presentation, okay? We had the $90,000, and got that through. Jim, did your church get theirs? too?
Yeah, we got our check,
Got theirs too?
like, about the same time we
Okay.
did, maybe. a few
The
years.
federal money that you can continue to ask on,
I'm just
and
asking.
I'm just telling you, the same thing that I told you last month. It's been applied for, our accountant, it's federal government. It might take a year, I don't know. It's the 30% that we're still waiting for. Meanwhile, solar panels are up, we're saving money now, and, it's just frustrating because when we started this, the naysayers, oh my God, it's the worst thing ever, you're never gonna get a dime, you're never gonna, now we get it. And now it's like, no, let's look over here. No one's saying, hey, good job, we got that, now let's go for the other. It's called, again, working as a team. Let's work as a team, and when we have wins, it's okay. And it's nobody gets the credit, it's just, let's do it. So, I'm working on it.
No,
It's gonna happen.
No, I was just asking for an update. Wasn't a slap.
Good job. No, I'm not, you weren't on the board. You weren't on the board when nobody wanted to do it, and so, anyway. All right, I believe that's it. Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned, thanks.
There's trees up there.
Yeah.
Right.